Hello, everybody, and welcome to Inside the Booth. We're all your.
He's your host, Dano.
That's right.
I'm the other one, Tabitha over
And,
here.
and then Tabitha over that on that side. So, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna start with saying hello to some people. Oye, hello, how you doing? She says she can't wait. She saw it yesterday. Sweet. We got Phil, TMNT. Hello. Uncle Mike. What's up, Uncle Mike? And then we got Fabworks. Ado. What's up, Ado? How you doing, my friend? Kaylee D. K-Dog's here. What's up,
Hey,
Kaylee?
Kato in the house.
Mrs. R2 the Yicky. How you doing? And there we go. It's funny. We got all these people on the comments, and my screen says there's only one person watching.
Yours too? Yeah.
Yeah, that's so weird.
You can't trust the number. False information,
That's
misinformation.
right.
Can't trust
That's right.
anything these days.
Can't
Not even the
trust the
internet, Dan.
Can't trust the internet.
What's up
That's
with
it.
that?
I don't know. Some people. I'm gonna close out this too. There we go. I hope this runs a little bit better now. All right. So, wait, Dan. Wait. Is Dan Batman and Tabitha Catwoman? I don't
No.
think so.
I think I'd rather be Poison Ivy.
I mean, Batman doesn't have a huge beard. Not that that wouldn't be cool, but
I want to say in one of the comics, didn't he have a beard? Like
I don't
it
know.
wasn't. It didn't last long.
Probably not. Beards come and go these days.
But Jesus never fails.
That's right. That's right.
Just got slid. We're in a good mood, everybody, today
Man,
because
look
we
at
are
my
talking
look at
about
that pup.
the Batman. Why wouldn't we be in a good mood talking about
That's
the
right.
dark
Bat.
and gloomy man that is Bruce Wayne?
Look at that. Look at that big toy behind me. Right there. That's nice. That's nice. That's right. Look at this small little cup I got.
My
And I have a
giant
hole in my
bottle.
mouth.
You have a
Gosh, I
hole
don't
in
know
your
how.
mouth?
Yeah, I don't know how to drink anything. Must be because it just spilled all over my face. I'm watching myself do this instead of watching myself drink a.
It's hard adulting. Dan can't drink without paying attention to what he's drinking.
That's it.
Unlike me.
So we got. That's
I'm
right. So we got.
a drinking aficionado over here. I've been
That's
doing it
right.
my whole
You
life.
even got a straw there. Ah, what does it say?
Hey,
Chris the
Christ the
Geek.
Geek.
What's up? How
Is it?
you
Oh,
doing?
Chris the Greek. Sorry, I was like, Christ the Geek. I'm like, that's interesting. Oh no.
I mean, who says Jesus can't be a geek?
That's right.
Um,
He was very much into history, wasn't he?
that's right. That's right.
Terrible
Dax
pun.
is here too.
Hey, Dax.
How you doing? All right. So for those of you who don't know, we are talking about Batman, the Batman, the 2022 Batman that just came out. Like, I don't know, what was it?
A couple weeks ago.
A week, 2 weeks ago, 2
Something like
weeks,
that.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was
March
the end of
4th, I
February.
think. Yeah,
Oh,
March 4th, I
yeah. No,
think it
you're
was.
right. It was March 4th.
So there we go, everybody. I saw it on the 6th of March, so it's not totally fresh in my mind, but I still remember some things.
I saw it
So
yesterday.
sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Fuzz Aldrin, what's up, Fuzz?
Oh, hi.
Got a little fuzz there. I got a little fuzz
Hi.
here too. Look at that fuzz.
Try not to.
Anyways,
So, yes, the Batman, the hot topic of 2022 thus far in cinema. I mean, you would have thought that this was the Kickstarter, maybe it is, the Kickstarter to summer blockbuster movies. As much as this movie was amped up on social media, YouTube, Twitter, the works. I mean, it was like everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody wanted to see it, or did they? Some people, like me, were quite skeptical. I'm like, do we really need Another Batman movie.
Right, exactly.
The short answer to that is no. But
Mhm.
um the long
But
answer
after
will come
seeing,
as we,
yeah, yeah, after
divulge into
seeing this movie, I kind of enjoyed the movie in a whole.
it. Mhm.
There are nitpicky things that I am going to nitpick at. For those of you who don't have not seen this movie, this is full of spoilers. So
Spoilers.
spoiler alert. And I don't
Right.
have a spoiler alert button right now. Wee, wee,
I'll make you
wee.
one.
Okay, you can make one. I think I have one, but you can make
Oh,
it
okay.
anyways. No, you
Okay.
can still make it. I don't care. Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Did
Do it. Just do it.
it.
Like Nike, just do it. I don't
Dude.
think I got a Nike pin somewhere in my hat. Right there it is.
I see
I found
Batman
I found
pin.
this.
Quite
I found this
appropriate.
on the. I do have a Batman pin. I actually had to move it because it was in the back of my hat here. I didn't want to wear my hat forward, so I just kind of moved it there and put the other one back there. So yeah, got lots of pins on this hat. If you haven't noticed, quite
You're
a
all
bit.
pinned up. Yes,
I like it.
yes.
It's fun. It's fun. It's like those people that I don't know if you I don't know if you went to public school, but I had some friends in public school wear their backpacks, and on the straps would be full of pins.
Ah. Does it get heavy after a while with all of those pins on there?
On the head, I don't know. You don't feel it much. I mean,
Okay.
when you do take the hat off, it does sag because it's a mesh hat. It's not
Oh,
like it's
okay.
firm.
Not quite
It's
as
not a firm
stable.
hat. Yeah. So I just dropped my hot glue gun, but that's okay. I don't need it tonight. I don't need it on this show. Uh, Anata Moose, how are ya? So thanks
Welcome
for
back.
all you guys who are watching and
That's right.
who are going to stay to the end. You don't want to miss because at the end will tell you how to purchase such cool stuff
Oh,
like
the cool
this.
stuff.
That's right.
But not
All right,
until the end.
not until the end today because I just
We're
want to.
mixing things up. We're crazy today. Talking
That's
about the
right. We're gonna
Batman.
mix it up. That's right. Talking about Batman and poofy eyes, or what are bags? Poofy bag eyes.
There is such a thing called the internet, Dan, where you could look up how to reduce those.
I don't know. I don't know how to look up the internet. But yes, I
You-
got your name right this time. That's right. um.
so-
All right, so let's get into it. We got Robert Pattinson. You know what was his name?
Edward,
Edward.
wait,
That's
what are
right.
you talking about? Like from Twilight? Were you
That's
referring to his
exactly it.
history?
That's yeah.
I'm not sure what all
We
this
got
was about because
we got
Edward didn't do any of this.
Sparkly.
So, like, what are you talking about? I just took a
uh,
guess there. And went,
I know it was a good
you don't know
guess. You
your
can see when I was
franchises.
moving my hands. You were like, I know what it is.
No,
It's
I
it's
really
like
just took a stab in the dark because at first I'm like, does Dan think he's an X-Men? So that's why I just kind of went.
no.
Yeah.
So
So
Sparkly Edward is in this movie.
and Cedric Diggory from Harry Potter. Everybody forgets that one.
Who was she?
He was a
He.
man.
Okay,
Cedric is
right.
a man's
Oh,
name.
Cedric. I thought you said something else.
No,
so
he was a
so
Hufflepuff.
he was a what?
You don't know. I'm not going to
I
talk to you
don't
about
know.
it.
Okay,
You don't.
but which person was he in this movie?
Cedric Diggory. What are you talking about? Are you talking about what I'm talking about? Or are you talking about something else, Dan?
I'm talking about Batman. You said he's in this
Okay.
movie,
Well,
right?
he's Bruce
Cedric is in
Wayne
this
in
movie.
Batman. That's why I was like, he can't be talking about Batman because he's Bruce Wayne. Robert Pattinson is Bruce Wayne.
Right, but he's also Edward the shiny, sparkly vampire.
Right, in Twilight. And I was saying he was Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter. I'm not sure
Oh, he
where we're
was? I
confused.
didn't know he was in Harry Potter.
That's
How
why I
come I didn't
said,
know
well,
that?
stop talking about it because you don't know.
Yeah, I did not know he was in Harry Potter. I am so
Exactly.
sorry. Oh
It's
man,
okay.
my geek radar just went from up here to
Hey,
here
Lulu.
because everybody likes Harry Potter,
Not
and
everybody,
except
but
for
just
me.
just the important people. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh.
Lulu, is
Hey,
that who you're saying
Lulu.
hi to?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
yes,
thought you were talking
Robert
about a
Pattinson.
okay, but I thought you were talking about a different actor in this movie was from a different movie. I mean, they all are from different movies, but I'm
This is gonna
touching
be
it.
this
I'm
is
done.
gonna be
I'm
such
done.
a
I'm
great show. I can already tell.
done, man. What the heck is wrong with me tonight? Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Booth. Can we start over? Cut.
Right. We're
Action.
talking about
Oh man.
Dan wants to start over. Just kidding. Um, maybe we really do,
That was good.
guys. It's supposed to be a serious movie, and we got our lights all moody and everything. I'm wearing black for the occasion, and we can't even word right tonight. Be
Oh
like
man,
that dude who was in
I
that
can't even
movie.
talk.
I think all the actors were in another movie.
I can't even talk tonight. Don't forget, everybody.
You gotta tell them Silent Breed is people!
Dan needs a moment to recover. That's why he's just said,
That's it. That's it. All right. All
oh my
right.
god.
I'm ready.
Lily says, looks like I'm staying
Ah.
here tonight. We're glad. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen tonight. It's going to be interesting. Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, thanks.
Okay, so
We
yes.
appreciate you.
So Robert Pattinson, as we have already, declared, is Bruce Wayne among other
Hmm.
people in different
In
movies.
different movies.
Um, and then you have Zoe Kravitz, who she's the daughter of the famous actress Lisa Bonet and the stepdaughter of Jason Momoa, who is Aquaman. She's also been in several films herself, different films other than this one.
That's
She-
right. That's right. Now she did a good job as Catwoman, I think.
Mhm.
But you know what? She looks a lot like Halle Berry's
I know
Catwoman.
that's your hang up, isn't
Not.
it?
Yeah, it is my hang up. Not the costume. I'm not talking about the costume. I'm talking about her in a whole, like her face, and you know, just because she's mulatto or whatever, half white, half black. I don't know.
What
She's
is
very pretty.
mulatto? Oh yeah, yeah, yes,
Mulatto
yes.
is like half white and half black, but she's very pretty. Like Halle Berry is very pretty, and
Oh
she
yeah.
just they got that same look to their face. And
Very
so when
good,
they're
good
in the
features,
costume,
nice
yeah,
angles. I've got to look
yeah.
up this
So when
word because I would love it if it doesn't mean anything what you're talking about.
they're
Excuse me one
go
second.
ahead, go ahead.
I don't even know how you spell this word. Okay, it's taking me to Spanish, means sick or ill or diseased. Hang on. I don't know what you're
I
talking
don't know.
about.
I don't know. I thought mulatto was mixed.
um According to this, it talks about somebody who is diseased, seriously ill. So I don't know. Ah, mulatto. Okay, I depends on how you spell it. Okay,
Oh, okay,
first
so I said
generation.
it the wrong way.
The Merriam-Webster
Mulatto.
definition is the first generation offspring of a black person and a white person. Well, that would mean that then that yes, Holly Berry is mulatto, but Zoe Kravitz is not because her mother is half white.
Oh, okay. But she still looks like it.
Oh yeah, she looks
So
fantastic.
yeah.
I'm so glad we got that definition out of the way. Otherwise, I'd be going around and be like, man, Dan has something against these beautiful, creamy skinned ladies because he's like, they're just sick and
Beautiful
diseased.
people. These beautiful half white, half black people. What's wrong with him?
Anyway, so we've got those, and we have Jeffrey Wright, who plays as James Gordon, Colin Farrell, which I was telling Dan. I had no idea he was in this movie. I couldn't find him. I did not realize he was the Penguin, and I'm like, what was it? As who says that? Good God, man, the doctor from Star Trek. Like, if that was him, What happened to him? Oh my gosh. I haven't seen him in a movie for a while. I was like, that's him? What happened
I
to
think a
him?
lot of that was makeup and fat
Oh yeah, oh
suiting.
yeah.
I
It was
definitely
definitely latex and whatever, but it was just like I
let me
kind of thought people were lying to me, to be
right
honest. Like there ain't no way that's Colin Farrell.
now. The way his accent was and the way he moved around and did his mannerisms, it reminded me a lot of Robert De Niro and how he
Mm.
acts and stuff. So I was like, well, why didn't they just cast a real Italian man, instead of like some guy who
Do you think he did a
pretends to be
bad
Italian?
job?
No, I don't think he did a bad job at all. But it just that's all I could see was Robert De Niro every time he was on the screen. So I was like, yeah. So kind of another hang up for me.
Oh, well, then there was also Andy Serkis in here who
I loved it. Loved him.
I love
He did a
watching his
great job.
journey.
Yeah,
Thinking
as
about where he
Alfred.
came from like 20 plus years ago when he
Hmm.
was doing Smeagol and nobody knew who he was, not really. And he's pretty
Right,
much just known
and
for his
he
voice
did a lot.
acting.
Right, he did a lot of voice acting, a lot of makeup stuff all the
And
time.
so to see him now, he's in the Marvel films and now, it's movies like this. It's so cool to
Right.
see his journey. That's
You
pretty
got to
cool.
remember too, though, the Marvel films. He's just in the makeup, the computer generated stuff. Yeah,
No, no. Did you watch Black Panther?
yeah.
Wait, was it okay?
Oh, I guess I'm thinking of a different Disney franchise. Yes, okay, you're right.
The
You're right.
other
He's in
movie.
the black. Yeah, the other movie that Disney
I'm
screwed up. Um,
I think his arm got torn off, and so that was CGI. But what's Dan? Like that was him.
yes,
Like,
yes, you're right. You're right. That was his face in that movie. You're right.
it was
My
his
bad.
body.
I'm so sorry.
And then
Again. Again, tonight's gonna be a great night, everybody. My
and
brain
John
is
Turturro. I think
not
it's
even
pretty
here.
cool to see his journey as well. He played as Carmine Falcone.
Yes, and I
Yeah,
love Oh Brother Where Art Thou. He is so good in that movie.
I've never
I
seen
just
him
love
in
that
that.
movie. That movie itself is
Oh, I've never seen it.
amazing. You need to watch it, Tabitha. If you haven't seen Oh Brother Where Art Thou, then you're just like you're not American. All right. It's kind of like if you haven't seen Star Wars, you're not American. So
Okay, no, plenty of people have never seen like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" is not an American staple, Dan. Like it's not
yes,
like
yes,
football and mayonnaise, hot dogs, and American pie or apple pie. Like it is
they have.
not up there.
It should
Maybe
be
to
because they have that.
maybe
They have.
you.
All right, but you should still watch it. It's a good
We'll
movie.
see. Let me see what it's rated for. And then last but not least, I would say is Paul Dano. I've never heard of this guy before, and he plays as the Riddler, the main protagonist, I
Yeah,
guess
I
you would
don't
say.
know where he's from. I've seen his face before, but I don't remember
Yeah,
exactly what other
where
movies or where. Yeah,
the other movie he was in. Yeah.
yeah, that other movie. Um,
So,
I can look real quick.
okay.
I mean, not that it matters, but go ahead. You
No,
can
it's
keep
okay.
talking, and I will look real quick and tell you where other movies he's been in.
Okay. Well, and I just want to quickly say hello to some other people in the chat that I didn't see earlier. And welcome, welcome. We're glad you're here talking about the Batman and so many other things. We're discovering a lot of little gems tonight in our conversation.
Yes.
And, see, this is why, Dan, this is why conversation is so important because here this whole time you've been saying mulatto, and I've been thinking that you're just thinking that biracial people are sickly and diseased, when really I just needed to go and check and that there were other definitions that meant different things. Beautiful biracial people are not sickly, ill people. It's not what Dan was saying. So I hate sometimes in this American language, English is difficult because there are so many words that sound so similar and have obviously completely different meanings.
Yeah, exactly. So
um,
sorry.
did you find him?
Yes, I did. Little Miss Sunshine, which
Oh,
who is that? Rain?
Rain has
Rain 2.
graciously let us know Looper,
Yeah,
Night and Day, and Little Miss Sunshine.
yeah. There
Yeah,
Will
it's
Be
one of those
Blood. I've seen
faces
that
where
movie.
I've seen his face, but I just couldn't remember which film it was, and I was not interested in looking them up.
Right,
To be
right. Looper. There Will Be Blood.
But
That's like a movie that I like watching, those Western
I,
style movies. So it's probably where I seen his face in.
yes, Dex, I know one of those words was Spanish. The one that I thought Dan was saying was Spanish, and that was not what Dan was saying. So, got that cleared up. We have to come with subtitles here in our own
That's
native
right.
language. So it'll be interesting. I think, I don't know why my camera keeps fuzzing out on me. It'll be interesting to rate this movie. So, firstly, we always
Yes,
start off with the plot. Dan,
the
would you
plot.
like to go first?
I mean, sure, you can add to it because I'm just not gonna.
You're
It's
not
it's
going to
not gonna
word
come out
tonight.
right. Yeah, it's not gonna. It's not
That's
gonna.
why we're
My
here, Dan.
words are not coming out good tonight. So
Give it a try.
I'll give it
Give
a
it the old
try.
college try.
So at first, I loved this movie. It was great. I liked pretty much everything about it, really. Um, and then
We're discussing the plot.
I know. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. So
Carry on.
Batman. This is supposed to be his second year as Batman, and he is writing in a journal, diary, whatever you want to call it, and making his notes and what have you. And he goes from, what does he say? He's not justice, he's vengeance or something, right?
Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Yes.
I am vengeance. So he's out getting vengeance toward people that he really doesn't have to, because he already kill his parents' killers. I mean, they didn't really say much about that though, so I don't know. So anyways, I'll keep talking. And then the Riddler, the Riddler wants to basically bring out the truth of the corrupt government, which is not far fetched from what everybody is doing today, trying to bring out the truth of the corrupt government. The only issue that the Riddler has is he's kind of psycho and he wants to kill everybody. Uh,
Yeah, it's kind of a small problem.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with exposing corruption. Just
Just not in a psychotic
not
way.
not in a
Draw
psychotic
a
way. Not
line.
You don't kill people. Um, so
Unless they
so that's
deserve
what he
execution
basically.
by law and order.
That's right. That's right. So that is what he's all about, the Riddler, and so he wants Batman to join his ragtag team of Riddlers, and he wants Batman to see all the corruption and all that stuff, and he wants Batman to help him to kill them all, but Batman doesn't kill, and he's pretty adamant about that in this movie, which is cool. Um, what else? Da, 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 da. And then Batman, I don't know, basically finds his way to being a better person, a better Batman, a better, I don't know, a better person that's like, I'm not going to be vengeance anymore. I'm going to be.
Let's make this really dark movie sound like a frolic in the daisy field.
I want to be a better Batman, a better person. So yeah,
Which is why he writes in his journal every day.
that's that's it.
Because he has
and
feelings.
and he's very emotional. You know that meme, emotional damage. That's it. Little Spidey, what's up, buddy? Um, so he's very emotionally damaged, this guy, and he just wants to be not so much anymore. So he likes like Tabitha says, frolic in the fields of flowers and such. um, no, but he
Dan,
becomes
let me pause you
he,
real quick.
he becomes the
Could
hero
you
in the end.
imagine if there's somebody in the chat who hasn't seen the movie and just
Uh-huh.
decides to watch anyway? Can you imagine what they're grasping from the plot of this based on your description? He
Yes.
sounds like a poet or something that's trying to get through,
That's it.
get
Just
through
like
life.
R2 says. R2 says, Dan would kill them with kindness if he was Batman. That's right. Give him bat hugs and everything. Tonight is a good night, everybody. I'm glad you're joining us with my small cup.
Bat hugs?
You know.
What are we even talking about?
I don't know. Let's
Okay.
talk about Batman.
How about I just read the plot?
Go ahead and read it.
Batman ventures into Gotham City underworld when a sadistic killer leaves behind a trail of cryptic clues. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, he must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring to justice the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued the metropolis. Nothing about hugs and daisies.
Well, you know.
Based on your description, would you give this movie a point?
Let me see here. Yes, I would give the plot a point.
You don't have to.
No, I thought it was good. You know, I like the whole.
Not
You
from
know,
what you said. Sounded like the most boring, stupid.
Yeah, take it as is, I guess, right?
I love it. Oh my gosh. Here, okay, so I just want to go ahead and point out, I was like, I'm going to take this seriously. I wrote 3 pages worth of notes, front to back, and I'm like, we're going to talk seriously. And here we are, making up stories.
Making it up. That's right.
Oh
I need
my
battery
gosh.
for my proton pack, Tabitha.
Who's Trey?
Who's Trey?
Okay, let me write down you give it a point.
Yeah,
For whatever
give it a
reason.
point.
Oh, okay. Well, now I feel stupid for all the serious stuff that I wrote.
Look, I have one job on this lousy ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it, okay?
Time to recover. It's not often we get Dan laughing enough to go off camera.
All right. I think you made me spit my water everywhere.
I can
That's
see
okay.
it. That's okay. I've done it before too. When R2 made that comment, something about Phil liking something that I said, I literally shot all my water out. Anyway, so I'll read. Get serious.
I'm not gonna take a drink for a while. All right.
I like that we weren't reintroduced to Batman's past.
You talking about me?
Dan literally made no words for like 15 seconds. Words are hard, guys. I should have worn waterproof mascara. I did not.
My face is getting as red as that light behind me.
Oh my god.
Do we need an intermission? Intermission, everybody. Go
I got
pee
this.
if you need to.
Asian. I'm drinking Fiji water. I don't know what they put in here. Okay. Let me try again. I like that we're not reintroduced to Bruce Wayne's past again and again, like we have been with the last few movies. And while, yes, it is evident that Bruce has his own demons of the past haunting him, it is not used as a weakness nor as a diversion from the main plot. Bruce chooses instead to look ahead and try to fix the problems. There are quite a few interesting characters to follow, and oh my gosh, my makeup. I'm gonna have to go off camera. Oh my gosh. Okay. There are a lot of characters. Gosh, my eyes are burning now because my mascara got my eyes. Oh my! I'm gonna look like Captain Jack Sparrow by the end of this. Anyway, there are a lot of characters that are in this movie. I mean, we have not only do we have Batman, of course, we've got Alfred, but then you've got James Gordon, but then you also have the Chief of Police, and then you also have the Riddler, and then you have Carmine Falcone, and then you have the Penguin. I mean, there are a lot of characters to kind of follow along with. Personally, kind of thought it was a lot, but they did make it work. The pacing, I will have to say that the pacing was a little off for me at the beginning and at the end, because this movie ended like 3 times and then it didn't. So
yes, I'm with you there. Yep.
And you could tell that, like, again, like it felt like it was going to end, but you knew it wasn't going to, because how could it? Because the story hadn't been finished yet. But it still had this
Right.
ending-like quality to
Ending
it 3
feeling to
times,
it. Yep.
guys.
Yeah, 3 times.
And then the beginning, we have like a lot of this heavy breathing, and we're looking through binoculars into somebody's window, right? For a long time. I mean, like a long time. And we see this little kid in a ninja outfit just hanging out, playing, and doing the stuff. And then his parents come in. And he pretends to, slash his dad because he's joking around and everything. And his dad falls on the floor, and they're having a gay old time, and all this kind of stuff adds nothing to the story. Like, there's no point to do this. I'm not really sure what the purpose of this opening scene was, because it doesn't tell you for sure if it was the Waynes, some random family, who exactly was spying on the family. It's like, what was the point? However, when that scene's over and done with, the real beginning of the movie comes to play, and that was really well done, I think, because the narration starts, like Dan said, Batman is starting to write in his journal, and I think that the way I do, in a way, like the way that they portrayed Bruce Wayne, as though, even though he is moody, and I cannot handle all these moody, wussy Bruce Waynes, but I do like the idea of him writing in the journal, because that is his way of getting his thoughts across, right? Putting his feelings down so it's not suppressed within. This is often done in for therapeutic reasons. So that way you don't like contain it inside of yourself and then explode or something like that. So I like
camera in his eyeball. It's like a contact.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, I mean, that was cool because it's part of his little gimmicks and stuff like that. Legion says it adds atmosphere. What? Staring at a family for no reason? Like, it literally adds nothing to the plot. So, as far as the plot goes,
small. Look how big my hand is compared to this. I still can't handle it.
Stay on target. Almost there. Stay on target.
Sorry.
Trying to keep us on track here, dude. As far as giving it a point, like, I kind of want to, because it was good, but
yeah, it was good. Yeah,
but it was a lot, and there were some things that were just kind of strewn out that wasn't.
I think some things could have been cut out. Some things.
So for that,
edited out a little bit.
I'm sorry, people, but I'm gonna give it a half a point.
Okay.
I did.
Half a point.
I know Dan in his heart wanted to give it a half a point, but he's being nice tonight.
That's it. Archie says, was looking into himself while creeping on that
Right?
family.
So that's just weird. Like, who was it? Was that Bruce Wayne peeping on the family? To me,
I
I
don't think
didn't get it.
so.
I mean, if somebody could help, I mean, seriously, if somebody could
I'm gonna have
help
to
me.
watch it again because I actually thought it was the people that the Riddler was in the building with, but I wasn't. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought it was the Riddler. So I'm going to assume it was the Riddler watching this family.
Mhm.
But that still, it didn't do
Yeah, it
anything to
didn't
help
make
the
it didn't
movie.
make too much sense. I think it
And it was
just
so long. It's just
it
so
was
long.
long, especially because it was in the beginning. But they wanted to give you that kind of that horror movie feel, like oh, he's looking in the window, peeping Tom, and then all of a sudden he's standing in the building, in the shadows. No,
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean, yeah, there was that, but I don't know. I to me, honestly, it confused me more than it helped me with the story. Like, it seemed
right.
very.
No,
I don't think it was done as well as I mean as it could have because I've seen plenty of other movies and TV shows where they do the exact same thing, but whatever they do differently translates much better for me. Chris says
right.
it was the Riddler.
Okay,
No, I under okay. Staring at people across the road doesn't make it noir style. There's a
right.
way to do that. Not calling you out, Legion. I'm just saying, like, to me, that's not what constitutes noir style. I do appreciate the noir feeling for this film. I absolutely see that. But this the length of time just seemed really strange to me. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Anyways, hey, did you like that part, the beginning, kind of in the beginning, the other part of the beginning, where the guys are their faces were like clowned up faces in the
um
train?
yeah, I mean it was creepy, but of course it was Halloween night, so that makes sense. What
Right.
I thought was a brilliant maneuver was that they had the young boy that was there that was basically trying to become part of the gang, that they only did
Hmm.
half of his face.
Yes, that's what I was gonna talk about. Yes, they only did half his face. Nobody really talks about this on some
Yeah.
of the streams I watched. I'm thinking that that kid might be Harvey Dent in the future.
Um, I
You
heard,
never
I don't
know.
know,
I
somebody
mean,
said something about Tim Drake or something like that. I don't
okay,
know.
well, I don't know. I was just thinking maybe they're pointing to the way of that might be Two Face in the future. You know,
Maybe.
that's
I just thought
you
it
know,
was a really good choice to kind of show that he still was struggling. Like he wasn't full his heart wasn't fully into what he was doing. And I
right.
thought that was a really creative way to display that. Apparently
Yeah.
that guy is also an actor in the is it the TV show Titans? The
Oh
live
yeah.
action one? Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Oh,
I
cool. Yeah, that is
saw it on
cool.
Twitter. So what's
Sweet.
next?
What's next is acting.
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 With the
So
actors from the other movies, guys, if you
yes,
remember.
that's right. That's right. If you remember that from the beginning of this wonderful show.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
all right. So I think Colin Farrell did a great job. I
I probably would have thought he did
obviously,
a good job if I knew it was Colin Farrell.
yeah, right, exactly. I kept thinking, of obviously Robert De Niro.
Mm.
Every time he's up there going, "Hey, it's a me,
Mario.
Mario." You know, I don't,
You can't
but
help it. If you say it's a me, you got to finish up
yeah,
with it.
it's a
Mario.
me. It's a me, a Colin Farrell in this big suit. I'm an Italian man. I don't know. See, they definitely did the stereotyping. I thought it meant he wasn't a fully fledged gang. Never thought it. Oh, see, R2 said
But
never
that is
thought of
an
Two Face.
interesting theory, Dan. Because
Thank you.
some people do that foreshadowing, that very subtle foreshadowing. So you never know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Although he seems mighty young to become a lawyer, so
Well, I mean, 5 years from then, he could
true.
become the lawyer, and then Batman is like the real Batman at that time. So yeah, that's what I was just thinking. That was in my
Hmm.
mind when I saw that. I was like, "Ooh, that'd be cool." And then I'd never heard anyone else talk about it, and I was like,
Yeah,
I
you
wonder if
never
I'm
know.
wrong." But I wonder, I that's what
Yeah,
it did
I
to me
think
when
it's a
I saw
creative
that.
take. Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, Robert Pattinson. I liked his acting as Batman. I liked him kind of as Bruce Wayne, not that much, because it just reminded me of like this emo Edward. You know, he's just an emo
You've
guy.
never
You know,
seen Twilight.
I saw the first one.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have.
All
I
right. I
think I've
take my
seen the second
accusation
one too.
back.
I think I've seen the second one too, because yeah, there was a girl I was dating back in those days who liked Twilight. Anyways, that was my past. Um,
That was everybody's past.
yeah, right, right. And then never mind. I'm not gonna go there. I was
Right,
gonna
right,
say
right.
I'm
Stay on
talking
target.
about Batman. We're not talking about Twilight. All right, so um, Dan loves vampire baseballs. No,
Who
no,
doesn't,
I thought
right?
that was stupid.
Lulu,
um,
yes. Books over the movies.
oh, for Twilight,
Yeah.
nice.
For anything.
So
Except
for anything, yeah, that's
pretty
true.
much.
Pretty much. So I was expecting, when he turned into Bruce Wayne, some sparkly, shiny thing, maybe by his eyes or something. It would have been funny to see, kind of like a
But
callback,
it would have totally taken away from the seriousness of the film. Oh my gosh.
It would have, but it would have
See,
been
that's why they
so.
put him into the shadows to absolutely not like 100. You never notice when he is in the taking his mask off. It's it's rainy, it's cloudy, with no sun.
Right, yeah, that's right. That's true. There's no sun, exactly. So what would he look like if the sun did shine on him? Probably shine.
Sparkly bat, yeah,
A sparkly
rhinestone
vampire
bat.
that turns into a bat. Um, so, anyways, I did like the fact that they left the panda eyes on him when he took his mask off, and he's sitting there just looking at like what he was doing that same night, and then writing in his journal. And I kind of like that. Um, his hair kind of distracted me because it was kind of like that kind of. It was, I don't know, it was weird. It was a little longer in the
Oh,
front,
I
shorter in the
hate.
back, and it was like kind
No,
of.
what it was like one of these brushback hairdos, but it would come forward so many times. It's stupid. Okay,
Right, right, right. It's kind of like an
bring back the
80s.
Edward hair.
Yeah, it was an 80s feel to it, his hair.
I
um
hated it. Oh.
some of the time, I'm gonna throw this in there. I don't know if this goes for acting or plot or what it does, but
Yeah.
when he first came out of the shadows, I was like, wow, this Ben Affleck would have been cool in this scene, because that's Ben Affleck. It looked almost like a Ben Affleck feel, because I expected Robert Pattinson to be a little bit thinner in his suit, but he was bulked up, and I was like, wow, that's pretty
Nowhere
cool.
compared to Ben Affleck though, which I'm
No,
so
no,
glad
no,
about.
nowhere, no, exactly,
So
nowhere
glad
compared to
about.
Ben Affleck, but he wasn't like skinny like I thought he was going to be, like what's his name in the
Like
70s
Val
there.
Kilmer or Michael
Yeah,
Keaton.
right, or Michael Keaton. Yeah, more on the thinner side with the Michael Keaton one.
Exactly, sketchy guy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that he added shadows, but you noticed there was like an ellipse between when Dan said when he first came out of the shadows. Wasn't that kind of Batman movie?
Yeah, and I loved the sound of the boots, and I think that might have to do with music of this. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I had that listed in my
That's
music.
yeah. All right, so we'll
We'll
talk about that after. So let's go back to so the acting. I think Andy Serkis did a great job as Alfred. I thought he didn't have too many lines, and he wasn't in there as much as like what's his name's Batman's Alfred. That one, the Dark Knight one
Michael
with
Caine.
Michael. Yeah, that's him, Michael. Um, he wasn't in there as much, but I thought the scenes that he was in, he did a great job. And I love John Turturro. How do you say his last name?
Totoro.
Turturro. That's
I believe that's how you say
that.
it.
That's he did a great job. I was actually expecting him to be more on the funny side because he does a lot of comedy movies. But
Yeah, he's kind of goofy.
yeah, yeah. But I think he did a good job at being serious. So
Yes, he did.
so I'll give acting a point. Oh, I didn't even talk about Catwoman. Catwoman did good. Riddler did good. Yeah, and that's it. There we go.
Point.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. My turn. Now, guys, like I said before, I have like all of these words. And I was like, this is not going to be one of those shows. Here I thought I was like, I'm going to really take it seriously. I'm
I'm
going to
so
try.
sorry. We
No,
messed
no, it's
that up in
okay,
the
Dan.
beginning.
I think it's so funny. Hey, JT, you missed. I
What's up,
hope you didn't
JT?
miss some good stuff. At the same time, I kind of hope you missed some of the things that I said.
You can always rewind and
Let's.
rewatch later.
Might have to
Um,
take this down and put it on Patreon. Oh wait, he's a member. Never mind. I have to put it on
he
the
is a member
$1,000
of Patreon.
tier.
There you go.
So I think that everyone did a solid job. Rob Pattinson makes a surprisingly good Batman, but to me, not so much of a good Bruce Wayne. Freaking get a haircut. That's not really part of it, but I just, for me, there is something in the past couple of Batman movies where it seems like, in my opinion, that the actors are either good at one but not the other. They are not good at being both Batman and Bruce Wayne. I don't like that. For example, and everybody's going to hate me, but Christian Bale, I thought he made a much better Bruce Wayne than he did a Batman. I did not like him as Batman. I don't like Ben Affleck as Batman or Bruce Wayne.
People
So
are gonna
there's
hate
that.
on that. That's for sure.
Yeah,
'Cause there
I
are
know.
some
I
people
don't
that love him.
understand this infatuation that people have with Batfleck. I don't understand it at all.
Right now, I do have a question though. In the cast here that I'm looking at, it says Ben Affleck is in it. I wonder if he's in it or if he's just like behind the scenes. Maybe he wrote it, directed it. I
Guys,
don't
I'm
know.
working on my internet problem. I really hate that my face freezes. I'm so self-conscious about that, but I have to carry on. So Rob Pattinson, I think, surprisingly, like I said,
Yes, he did a great job.
right, it's true, Dex. I am allowed to be wrong, but I rarely am, especially in this case. So I think he did surprisingly well as Batman. He wasn't so grungy and moody, but he was still very serious, very much a cop kind of a Batman, a detective. I liked that a lot, surprisingly. I have nothing against Rob Pattinson. I thought that he did good, or he did well in Twilight for what his role was. And maybe because of the fact that he was so good at being kind of serious and moody. Maybe that's what he did good, But so there's that. But I don't like him so much as Bruce Wayne. There's no sophistication, Like I like in the old. I know people think the old Batman movies are very comical and cheesy and gimmicky, but I think that Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer did really good jobs of being both characters, right? There was a certain sophistication that they brought to it. Now, Christian Bale, he had definitely that playboy, philanthropic kind of thing going on. I just didn't like him as Batman because he had so many emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
That's what they're doing with Batman these days, where he's so dark and his mother's name is Martha and he's so whiny and he can't get over his
wish they didn't
problems.
do that. They did say her name in this movie too as Martha, and
Well, I mean, but that's her name, so it's all
know,
right.
but still, I mean.
So Zoe Kravitz, I thought she was very believable character. She was headstrong, a broken, headstrong young woman, powerful in her own way, and yet not without empathy towards others. Because a lot of times,
Ryan, your secret is safe with me.
Right, we won't tell everybody on the internet.
That's right.
And JT says he wasn't at that point yet. He had to learn to be different. Well, sometimes I'm just really tired of these characters where we have to grow with them. I just want Batman.
Right, exactly.
I just want Batman and Bruce
it's
Wayne.
A movie.
I really.
Why do we have to make the movie like 12 movies long to really get to know them? It's
so,
like,
but I mean, I get
me a
JT's point. It's a valid point for
Right.
sure. It's just not where I'm at when I'm wanting to watch the movie per se. It's just not how it is. So let's see. Yeah, I think Zoe Kravitz did a good job. Personally, I thought she was admirable blend of both Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway. She was sexy but aloof, passionate but not crazy. you know. So she was okay with being you know, having this persona and having the gimmick of, you know, kind of taking from a cat and doing all this, that, and the third. But she
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
you
like
said it.
Michelle. She wasn't like Michelle Pfeiffer, where she was like delusional, but she was still really attractive, really hot, you know, all that good stuff that goes into in there. But still kind of sophisticated, like Anne Hathaway was, because she was a character you could really take seriously and believe that she was, you know. Was not a fan of the SJW Catwoman. Yeah. Well,
I mean, it was just that one part in that scene that she said something about white men or something like that.
yeah, white privilege. I don't know why that needed to be
They
brought
had to
up.
throw, yeah, I don't know
Like
why they
that
had to
part
throw that
did
in there.
bother me because it wasn't necessary. I don't
Exactly.
understand that at all. Um, you know, I just don't understand that part, why it was there. Why, I mean, Gotham's a fake city with all these fake problems, with all these fake people in costumes running around, but we have to
Yeah,
bring
white
our
privilege into
problems into a
yeah,
movie.
do
Nobody
it
wants to
into a
see
movie.
that.
Yeah,
Je-
exactly.
Jeffrey Wright, who plays as James Gordon, I liked him. Him and Gary Oldman, I think, make
He did a good job.
fantastic
Yeah,
James Gordon. I
yeah.
thought he was a really fantastic character. Colin Farrell, well, I mean, I thought the Penguin was good, but I had no idea that it was Colin Farrell. He was kind of a creepy character.
That's what makes it good.
I thought it was interesting how he kind of was almost like this side character. You know, Penguin is kind of
Yeah,
like up there, like one of the
supposed to
main
be
ones,
a
but this was
main
like
character.
more of like a
Well,
side
maybe
main
they
villain.
turn him into a main character in the next couple of movies or something.
Oh, I'm
You know?
sure. I'm sure they're leading up to it. I just thought that was interesting. And then let's see, Andy Serkis.
I
To
was
be honest,
disappointed that he didn't have the Danny DeVito penguin nose, you know, and go
something. Yeah, I don't
you know,
really think that, maybe besides his like his girth, and he had those scars that kind of made his nose a little bit pointier. I don't really understand
right,
why he would be chosen to call the Penguin, because he didn't walk around in a tuxedo either. Not
right,
necessarily straight
exactly,
up black and
right,
white. So that part threw me
right.
off, and I thought it was strange. Like, we only know he was the Penguin because they called him the Penguin, not
Yeah,
because it was
that's the penguin. Yeah,
self-evident. And
right,
then
exactly.
Andy Serkis, to be honest, I thought he was an okay Alfred. He's not my personal taste for Alfred. I like it when they're much older. I like it like the Michael Caine, or even the little old guy, I forget his name, bless his heart, that was in the original Batman's. I just like an older Alfred. I don't really like only a small
Mhm.
age gap between it. That's just me personally. I like it when he's the soothing old dude, you know. And then we had
Bye,
mentioned
Ryan. Have
John
have fun. Thanks for stopping in.
Turturro.
Finish this
Awesome to see
later.
him in his role, and like kind of like Andy Serkis, seeing him grow. I remember him from Transformers, and so I can easily see him being, you know, this criminal person, but at the same time, like you said, he's always kind of goofy for a little, you know, for a lot of his roles. Got a little bit of a weird
Right,
flair to him. So I was surprised
right.
that he got to be that guy. And
Yeah,
then Paul Dano, I thought he was a great psychopath, but not a great Riddler. I'm sorry, but while I like the fact that Catwoman with her gimmicks were low key, I thought his were not up enough. Like,
right.
he was just a dude in a green suit. That Riddler,
Yeah, that
I
was
like,
creepy, and they gave him that what they call it, a Zodiac killer feel or whatever.
and
I mean, it
I
was
mean, even
okay,
Heath
but
Ledger's Joker has the gimmick. You know, as serious and
yeah,
dark as those movies were, they still tried to make it gimmicky a little bit.
right, right.
I think they should have done that with the Riddler in this one too. I felt like it was too realistic for his role. And I mean, let's just face it, Batman and all this stuff were based off of comic books and ridiculous people walking around in ridiculous
Yeah,
costumes.
exactly,
I want to see some
exactly.
really cool costumes.
Yeah, like
So
a Riddler costume, or I mean, I really did like Jim Carrey as the Riddler. That was funny.
I did too. I mean, yeah, he was over the
Um,
top, but he was mental. Like, he was
right, yeah, he was like mental over the top.
you know,
Yeah,
and I don't know. I don't know why those movies get so much hate, because I mean, they were, I mean, for honestly, for movies that are trying to be based off of comics, those are, to me, I think they did a pretty good job making it feel like it was comic book coming to life. So I'll give it a point. All of that to say, I'll
yeah.
give it.
JT says he did make riddles. He did make
Yeah,
riddles. Yeah,
I know
you're
he
right.
did, but
But they were
honestly, he could have been.
kind of dumb riddles, though. I
He
thought.
could have. Well, that too. He could have been any other kind of psychopath from CSI. There was nothing
Right? Yeah.
particularly special about him in that way. There was the one riddle when I'm sorry, maybe I'm just too critical, but Batman, I mean, he's a genius with these riddles, right? And James Gordon, he's intelligent too, right? And they have the one riddle where they're trying to like a rat with wings. I'm like, it's a bat. It's a bat. And they're going all over the world and searching Google until they meet the ends of the internet, and they're like, maybe it's another word for pigeon. And
And they got mixed up
falcons
with
have wings.
penguin. And, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Have
it's
a
a
penguin.
bat. That part, I'm
Falcone.
sorry, that part
Yeah,
was stupid. Like, we
it was.
spent
It
like
was.
another hour for them to try to figure out that a mouse with wings was a bat. Could you imagine how many lives they could have saved if they would have just thought of that? Like, I don't
Imagine
understand
how
that
short
part.
the movie would have been.
Phil said he had the same criticism about the riddle about the bat with or the mouse with wings because Phil, yeah, that part was. And like what Chris was saying, didn't like the Riddler's outfit. It was too generic. Exactly. We
Yeah.
need sometimes the gimmicks to help
It was
make
like
it look like
It
comics.
was like an army coat with a hood mask thing on it. It was weird.
So, yeah. I mean, overall for the acting, I get a point. I think everybody, while I had issues with maybe how things were done, as far as them portraying their characters, they did a fantastic job.
Right.
I will say Zoe Kravitz definitely, I think she earned some respect as being this Catwoman. I think she did a really good job.
She did do a great job. All right.
That was this movie's Martha movie moment. Yes, exactly, R2.
What was the Martha moment?
When they couldn't figure out that a mouse with wings was.
Oh. Why'd you say that name?
I don't like. I don't know.
So funny.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. The next one is cinematography.
Hey, Angela
I like
Straven. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah. What's up? How you doing? So.
Oh, Dan's got to sip his tea before he starts talking.
Why is this cup? I don't know. Does it look smaller on camera? No. Why does it look so tiny? Do I just got big hands? I don't get it. I don't understand this camera.
Oh, I'm just waiting for R2 and Dax to say something.
Bat tea. That's right. That's bat tea. All right. So cinematography, I thought they did a great job, especially with like in the beginning when the bat signal was up in the sky and everybody's looking around. Oh, Batman might be around or something. Each character that they showed looked into the darkness, not knowing if he was there or not. So that was kind of cool. I liked that. I did like most of the cinematography. You know, there's some nitpicks here and there, but I like most of it. It's just a really tiny.
Because you already got small hands.
Which means you wear small gloves. Of course, right? So, yeah, you know what? There's nothing in particular about the cinematography that I can talk about at the moment, besides, you know, like the way the shadows were and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job with the lighting. And obviously when you first see Batman coming out of the shadow of the darkness, that was good. And his boots, then the boots just like kind of, I want to go buy some tactical motorcycle boots for myself so I can just walk around like that. But I'm not a heavy foot, so I'm gonna have to like stomp around. My kids need to hear me walk.
It's called high heels.
Oh well, I don't
You can
have
hear those
them.
things a mile away.
Yeah, yeah. The rain was good. Yeah, you're right. The rain was good too. They did a good job with. But most of the movie was kind of dark and rainy, wasn't it?
To try to show the gloom and emphasize the corruption.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it was
Same
all
as
right. It was good.
Twilight. Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. Can't be out in the sun, huh? Batsy? Turn into you'll melt like a
See, Bruce
vampire?
Wayne can't do that because then he would have that tan line right here, and then everybody would know he was Batman. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So do you give it a point, sir? Half a point? A little bit?
I'll give it a half. I think I'll do a half a point on that one.
I
Just
am
because, just because there wasn't like spectacular different types of shots that I haven't seen before.
well, that's
You
true.
kind of
And it's kind of
seen
hard.
most of it, and it's not like it's something that wowed me. I guess there are a couple of spots that were good. I like to see the scene where, even though it was a strange part that it was weird, but I liked it anyways. Is when Batman had the flare in the water because it was flooded in the arena, and he went from uh, one side of the bleachers to stay out of the water to the next side of the bleachers to stay out of the water. I know it was kind of stupid to do that, but it looked cool. So I mean, it looked cool, but it was really kind of pointless to walk
That
from one side to
scene
the
was
next.
another. That scene, honestly, was another Martha moment. I'm gonna be real
Kind of
because,
was.
and hear me out, because when he went over to rescue the people, by
Hmm.
this time everybody has heard of Batman, right? Like they know
Yeah,
Batman.
exactly.
The place is flooding. There are people shooting.
Hmm.
There's fire and brimstone and every kind of chaos you can think of, except for screaming howler monkeys. And he goes over with the only light source in the building,
Yeah,
tears
like they didn't
open the
have
thing,
flashlights.
and she just stares at him like, I don't know if I should leave the confines of this thing that's about to come down on my head. And I'm
Right.
like, I don't care if that was Adolf Hitler. The building is coming down. You need to get out. Like if he's extending, he made a way for you to escape, and you're with
Right.
all the children that are still inside, and they're like, I don't know if we should leave. The building is flooding. The
Yeah.
ceiling is caving in. You leave. Like I don't understand. I mean, that moment honestly JT's probably gonna hate me. That moment really reminded me of when Ray handed Luke the lightsaber, and we just have this really long, drawn out thing until all of a sudden we decide what we're gonna do with the moment that's been given to us, and then it's like, oh, okay,
I'll just
lackluster. Like, oh,
toss it over
be
my
like,
shoulder.
So that part was foolish in my opinion. I don't understand that. It was like, I guess they were trying to portray that was the moment that the people decided to put their trust in Batman.
Don't ask me. I'm just a girl.
Just a girl.
That's what's
Hey
up,
Danny.
Danny?
But I just thought that was a really strange scene. I literally sitting there and be like, get out, move. You've got children. They're in danger. Like the building is I don't understand. I don't understand. But anyway, so I'm really surprised that you give cinematography a 0.5. I actually loved it. JT, maybe you'll have,
Yeah.
forgive me for everything else I've said.
I mean,
I thought the cinematography was great. Why? I think one
I
reason why Batman has always been, as I've gotten older, one of my favorite superheroes
right,
is just because
right.
he
I
has
like
such an
Batman.
awesome silhouette. that can't really be
He does.
compared to the other superheroes. Not the Flash, not Superman, not Aquaman. Even though they all have their own special whatever, Aquaman has his trident, and
Hmm.
Batman or Superman has, he can float and he has the wind and the cape and all that
Cape.
stuff. There is
Yeah.
just something about the cape, the stance,
Cape.
and the
Oh,
ears, which is another reason why I don't like Ben Affleck as Batman. His outfit was stupid. It's just that
it was okay.
stupid. And sorry. I thought that they really made, like, in the club and everything like that. It just, thanks JT. I appreciate it. I don't want to be like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like, I understand we're all different here. We all come from different backgrounds. We like what we
Yeah,
like,
of
right?
course. Exactly.
I thought that there were some really cool angles and lighting and really interesting focus points in the movie, where they
Hmm.
shifted pretty
They
quickly.
did
But
that.
I do
Yeah.
have to say, like, the car scene, I thought that
That was awesome.
Dax, shame on you. I get you though. Yeah, we all noticed her lasso of truth. I understand, Dex. And I just thought the car scene was a little
That
extreme. Like, it was very
I think
fast and
that was
furious.
right. But I think that's what kind of I did like that one because
Okay,
even
it was
though
too much for me.
yeah, even though it was cool because I like the part where the penguin like kind of almost loses him and he blows up the explosion and
I know,
he's
but
like,
it's been
I
done
gotcha,
so many
I
times. Like,
gotcha.
what's gonna happen.
Well,
So
right, you know what's gonna happen, but the way the car looks and it came out of the billow of fire
I
just
thought this
looked
had to be
so
the
cool.
crappiest Batmobile I've ever seen.
That
To
was
be honest,
what?
it's
What?
the crappiest Batmobile
It
I've ever
looks
seen.
like a muscle car. It
It looks like
almost
something
looks
left
like
over from Mad Max.
yeah, exactly. That's why it was so cool because it was
Oh,
different. It was a different style. I mean, it wasn't like over the top. It wasn't like it had wings on it or anything. It was just like it looked like a muscle car. And it was
yeah.
really cool. It was a mix between a couple muscle
Disappointed.
cars, but
But
I thought it was great, especially the sound it made when it went whoosh and then had that
guys and
like
the sound of the cars, yeah. I
yeah.
just like, oh my gosh. It reminds me of the teenagers that drive past my place at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I'm enough. I've had enough of this. It's, Dan, mute her. Look, I must say. I thought it,
Oh
be
my
honest, I
goodness.
was very disappointed in the Batmobile. Very
I
disappointed.
I don't know how the Batmobile was probably the best part of the movie. Just
Oh,
saying,
okay. I don't
it
think
was.
that,
It
but
was.
I do have to agree with you that I think probably one of my favorite scenes was in the beginning, when they exposed Batman for the first time and he came out of the shadows because, the fact that
Hmm.
I am
That was
harsh,
good.
JT. Look, I came with my notes ready. I knew that this was going to be a hot topic. Everybody's been talking about it. Everybody's been speaking trash or blowing
That's
it out
right.
way
Or
out of
loving it,
proportion.
or yeah.
Like, I mean, the hype for this movie has been ridiculous, but you might be surprised to hear what I have to say at the end.
The
Um,
jet engine was awesome.
I think that's a guy thing or a particular
It is.
female's kind of thing.
I think it
Like
is
I know,
like a guy thing, unless you're like a chick that works on cars and likes muscle
yeah, because I have
cars.
a girl in
Yeah.
my church and she just loves the sound of, and I can appreciate it, but it's not like it does anything for me. And like I said, I just thought it was a
Hmm.
stupid looking car, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
I'm like, he has all this money and that's what we come up with, something left over from Max. Please, please. I'm waiting for
Well,
Mel
yeah. I
Gibson and
mean,
Tina Turner to pop out at any minute.
you see. That's good. That's good. Uh, but have you seen Gone in 60 Seconds with all the muscle cars that they steal and stuff like that? It's really cool.
Maybe because
But
I'm not into cars, but I like when he came out of the
maybe
darkness.
not.
I thought what was really great,
That was cool.
good
Coming out of the darkness.
storytelling, because it got me just a little bit irritated in a good way, was the fact that every time you thought he was going to come out of the shadows, he didn't, which really
Hmm.
helped build up to the moment when he did.
When
Because
he
when we
did.
got to that
Yep.
moment, honestly, I really didn't expect him to come out of the shadows. I thought he was going to pop out from behind them or something like that and kick him in the face
Hmm.
or something. But I thought that was really brilliant scene.
It
As
was. It was
far
cool.
as the boots and everything, because I've seen people, like, I remember Tom was talking about
Look at
that
that.
Road Disney. Every guy
Shia
wants a
LaBeouf.
muscle car with a Jado. I don't know what that is.
That's right. That's
JT.
right, R2. That's what we want. Did you know?
Okay.
I'm
I know
I'm
some
gonna
guys that
cut you
don't.
off. Did you know that I had a 1983 Camaro with T tops, a V8? Oh man, it was my favorite car. I bought it. It didn't last too long though because I was a kid and it was rusted out on the bottom, which
Ew.
sucks. Well, it's New York. New York cars don't last long in this beautiful winter seasons. Um, but it was one of my favorite cars, especially the T tops and the sound it made with the V8 engine. It was
I
wonderful.
mean, I can appreciate it, but I'm just not into it. I've got a guy at church that's into restoring cars and everything. He does an amazing job on the old cars with the engines and the. See, I don't know the stuff. Um,
Oh, love it.
uh, let me see.
The JATO is a jet assisted takeoff, R2 says. Kind of
Oh,
like the jet engine that was in the Batmobile.
the only little qualm that I have when he first shows up is that because it's so dark, they really missed an up like because they were trying to make him look creepy and sinister, right? Is that when he did pound that guy, and then we finally get that close, get a close up of his face. His eyes were so dark you couldn't like it all blended together with the mask, his face, the shadows. I think it would have been
Right.
really great had they put a very specific catchlight in his eye because they did that throughout the rest of the movie. So I think that was a missed opportunity there to really make it kind of like they did in Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. Like just to put that catchlight in the eye to really make it pop and stand out. I think that kind of bothered me. But I mean, that's just nitpicking stuff. So I give the cinematography a full on point because I thought it was lit.
Sweet. And I'm not hating on the cinematography, just letting you know. I
Right. No,
just,
no, no.
I just didn't see, like anything that made me like ooh and ah and Google or like the only things that kind of did was like I said, like you already just mentioned, the walking out of the darkness. To me, I like that scene where when the car comes out, and then obviously the light over the top shot with the flare light. That was cool. But other
What
than
is that
that,
supposed
I'm
to mean,
sticking with
R2?
that.
I'm so white. Well, I mean, thank you. I must have
Well,
privilege.
you
I don't know.
kind of are white, right? So,
Am I? You don't know what my
are
heritage is.
did you know? Did you know? Really, if you want to know the color of your real skin, go to one of those paint shops and just kind of match up those cards with, and then you can tell exactly what tell exactly what color you are.
I'm I'm
I'm
off
not
cream
white.
beige.
That's right.
Right. Angela Straven, I understand that this is Batman trying to figure out who he is and all that kind of stuff. I get all of that. I guess I get so tired of the background Batman. Like I'm just tired of focusing on Batman's background and how he became we all know how he
Yeah,
became
yeah.
Batman. That for me personally is getting old about 7 years ago. So, oh, excellent, Danny. Dax, I have more than me than just German, so by the way. But anyway, so I give it a full on point. Music, strike of the
Music.
choir. What do you think, Dan?
I thought it was really good. It did the job. I loved it. I like the sound mix, the mix of the sound as well, not just the music, but also
Mm.
of the sound itself. Because there was a lot of cool sounds in there that made you look like, especially like the boots. The stomping of the boots. That made you look and say, "Oh, Gavin, what's up, man? Thanks for coming. I like your avatar. It's Batman." That's what we're talking
I'm
about.
Batman.
I'm Batman.
I do have to say, I also appreciate that
He didn't
Rob Pattinson's voice wasn't stupid like the other previous
right.
ones.
He didn't
Like,
really do a like a try
mhm.
to change his voice too much. He kind
I
of
actually
left it a
watched an
little bit, but
interview
kind of
where they tried to figure out what to do with his voice, and he was getting some tips, and they said, "Why don't you try to do it like a serious whisper?" And so that's kind of
right.
what he went with, and everybody seemed to really like it. And I think because he was a more mellow kind of guy, it worked out really well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, that did work out good. And that has to do with sound, mixing of the sound too. So, I'll give the music and the sound and all that stuff, I'll give it a point. There you go, Tabitha. You can go.
Okay. Well, let me try to unblur myself here again.
Oh.
All right. So
No problem.
this is the part that I am the most excited about for this film. Okay. If there were any kinks, any hinks, any problems, any bugs in this film, it all came together anyway because of the music. So the music score is by far one of the best that I can remember in a long time that spoke to me. I love the main theme. It had a feel for like a Frédéric Chopin piano sonata number 2, which is also known as the Funeral March. It had that kind of feel to it. It almost had like the same notes in the beginning and then cut off, so it almost felt like it was familiar, and then it changed. It's also had the vibe of the flight of the bumblebees mixed with Darth Vader's march. Like it was a really intense
It was very intense.
score.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I mean, I know that a movie's going to be good if I'm interested in what I'm watching, but the music distracts me in a good way, like grabs my attention. And I was pleasantly surprised that I must go into my narration here. The music during narration was like rain crashing passionately against the ground, coupled with the constant, almost painful anticipation of Batman's first appearance. It was nothing short of a magical experience that leaves you desirous of hearing it again, which I will. The suspense, the action, the power, the sadness, it can all be felt in the music in this film. Truly, Michael Giacchino is the star of this film for me, because this music, this piece, this gave me Lord of the Rings and Phantom Menace vibes. Those are like the first 2 movies in my I say Lord of the Rings as a whole, but the first one, the Fellowship of the Ring and the Phantom Menace. Even as a child, when I went to the theater and the music was what got my attention and just took me somewhere else, if you will, or brought the whole movie together, that's when I'm like, I like this. And I know that the whole movie is going to be pretty much great from here on out because of the music. So that's, like I said, Michael Giacchino is the man that made this movie what it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, he really did a good job. Good job, Tabitha, talking about it.
I told you I was going to take my time because I knew everybody was wanting to hear what we had to say.
JT, have a good night. Have a good dinner.
I hope you still love me. Like me a little bit.
Didn't you read it? He said you're still his pal. No worries.
Oh, okay, good. I was too busy reading my narration.
So yeah, that definitely was a good music score. That's for sure. So obviously you give it a point.
If I could give music 3 to 7 points, I would. Is how much I enjoyed the music of this film.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do 3 or 7. We can only do 1.
When the music is this good, we should like just
we should give it a 10
give it a rainbow, name a star after it, something. Because this, for me, was some mind-blowing music, and I'm all about the music. Makes the story. It really does.
Of course, Danny wants to do this. Give the makeup department some props. Yes, they did a good job.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're right, Colin Farrell. I had no idea that was him.
They did do a good job with Colin Farrell, of course. What would that go under? Cinematography, kind of, right? Because
see, that's the kind of the hard part. Like some of the stuff, it's like like costumes,
we can't get everything. Yeah.
Now, I also want to put in here. Everybody keeps talking about his boots and the sound. So when I went into the movies, I'm like, because I could like hear Rogue Disney in the back of my mind, the boots, and I'm like, all right. I have to admit, I thought that they were over dramatized. To me, that they sounded
like they did it like that on purpose, though.
But I know, but it made it sound like it was more of a video game rather than a real movie. And I won't say I didn't like it, but it's just kind of funny because all these dudes out here be like, "Oh my gosh, the boots," and I'm like, guys,
right. Well, no, I liked the sound because it made you know that somebody serious or somebody was there.
I guess.
It's like that's like his signature sound. Almost like a western, the spurs on boots. I
Spurs.
mean,
Okay.
but they're not. They didn't have that obviously, but it had that. It made it kind of like that type of sound. It wasn't exactly like spurs, but
I don't know. I kind of like not hearing. I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it's an awful thing. I don't think
right.
it's a necessarily problematic. I kind of like it where Batman makes pretty much no sound. So he just literally just I am the
He's
knight,
he's right. He's still light on his feet. Nobody hears him,
Mhm.
sees him. Did you
All right.
know? I'm gonna have to say this now since you said that, and because we were talking about muscle cars earlier. My
You were talking
Camaro.
muscle cars earlier.
Yes, yes. What I wanted to do with my Camaro, which maybe in the future when I become rich and famous, I'll buy another Camaro and do this. But my Camaro was really loud, and I liked it. I liked the sound of it, right? I like that muscle. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But at the same time, I was like, what would be really cool is if it like had no sound and it drove by and went, you know.
I think the
I thought that
neighbors
would
would
be
have
cool.
appreciated.
Right, right. But like
I
be
know
really
I
fast
do.
and be like, so like almost like an electric car, but
Oh,
can't be can't
that
be
would be
electric.
sneaky,
But
sneaky.
yeah, but like and you see this like cool looking muscle car just kind of fly by. I don't know. I
That
thought
would be
that would
kind
be
of
cool.
neat, like the total opposite of what you anticipate when you see a muscle car. So
Yeah,
rather than this
exactly.
obnoxious snarling noise, you get just like swift silence. That
Yeah,
would actually be kind of
right.
cool, though.
That would be cool, right?
Take
So
everybody by
yeah. Anyways,
surprise.
Tesla Batmobile. A Tesla Batmobile.
That's going
That,
to come in the comic books one day, Dax.
yeah,
You know it's coming. The electric Batmobile.
that's that. Because Biden wants everybody to have electric cars. Anyways, next.
Yeah, allegory.
The allegory. I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay, it'll be really simple. What I got out of this film at the end of it, when the Riddler's going through, he has to explain himself like all villains do. Um, is the allegory I would say in this is that children are worth investing in, whether they're your own children or children that are in the community, maybe somebody you know at church, because it's proven once time and time again that children that come from broken homes, children that don't have a support system, that don't have somebody to look up to and guide them, oftentimes become criminals or just dysfunctional adults in many ways. And
Hmm.
it just would have been interesting to see. I hate when you see movies like this because it happens in the real world too. You have these geniuses, right? Geniuses that could do so much for the world, but they've just been misguided and they turn that vengeance into evil.
Yes, Archie.
Right? It's gonna happen. So I felt just a little bit, not too much. This is definitely not one of those villains where I'm like my heart goes out to him, but just the overall idea of the orphans and the or children in this inner streets and cities and things like
Hmm.
that. If somebody would take the time to invest in even just one kid, it would make a big difference. It would be a ripple in the pond of life, if you will.
Yeah,
So
of course.
that's what I get out of this is that even with Bruce Wayne, he had Alfred
Hmm.
to invest in him, to try to guide him into being the man that he needed to be. So, and then you have the
Right,
opposite, which is the Riddler's character had nobody. Look what happened
right.
to him. So, as far as that, it's kind of hard
What if
because
they
I don't
turn
really
the
think
Riddler
this.
into? What if they turn the Riddler into Robin?
That would be weird. I guess he'd have to get
Because he
saved
was
and
an
turn over a new
orphan.
leaf.
That's it. That's it.
So I
Gotta
don't
give
really
some
want to
Jesus.
give Allegory a point because I really feel like this is one of those movies that didn't really want to strive for an allegory. But I guess if I had to, I would give it a point.
Yeah, yeah. it had some parts in there, you know. I mean, like the exposure of evil. Um, and that would be like I said earlier, kind of like what we see today. You know, like a lot of people are exposing the evil of the government or of
Mm-hmm.
you know. Dare you, Dan. What I
Dare
say? What
you?
I say?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what Dan said.
I know.
I agree. I agree with her. How dare you, Dan?
How dare I? How
Mhm.
dare I pick up this mug like this?
It has a handle, you fool.
I know, but with the handle, it makes it look small.
Just
It's
you
like,
and this.
ugh, it's like just the smallest little coffee cup I've ever had. That's
Uh,
why everybody
Gavin
go
says one
to
of the best parts of the movie was during the wingsuit scene when you can see when Batman was about to jump off of the building. He got scared, started to deploy the wingsuit, and had trouble gliding. Then he ended up crashing in the wingsuit, and this shows he was learning from his mistakes. Yes and no.
yeah.
I mean, I
Oh,
can get
that's
where that
true.
was like he was learning, but I thought that scene also was kind of stupid because of the fact that, and I know he's a superhero, but he's human. He's not like the other
Right,
people. And
right,
so the
exactly.
fact that when he pulls his chute, gets stuck under the bridge, slams down on top of was the bus or the train, and then goes flying across the street, tumbling 5 times over. And there's no blood, there's no scratches on his exposed parts of his face. Like, it was a little bit over the top for me there. But I get where Gavin's coming from. Yeah, it does
Right,
show the steps that he's been taking, you know.
right. And then I like what R2 says. Dan, just admit it. You put a handle on a shot glass. I should do that. That would be great. All right. Yes, I know we're not comparing mug sizes. I'm sorry,
It'd be
everybody.
like this big, and he'd
Oh
be
man.
holding on a little handle.
Right. Um. All right. So, what was I gonna say? I
Allegory.
forgot
Do you
what I
have
was
give it a
gonna
point?
say. Um.
Corruption, exposure.
Yeah. Yeah. Exposure, corruption, and then at the end when he heard the bad guy say that he was vengeance, kind of. I don't know if people said that he had a click, like a light bulb
Mhm.
go in his head saying, why am I doing that then? I'd rather
Right.
be a light of hope, and that kind of it does happen kind of like that, because like he's holding the flare, everyone's behind him following him, so that kind of shows almost like a honest to be honest, it almost looked like a Moses scene. He's leading the people down the pathway of,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know,
thought that too, and I was like, that looks
a little.
ridiculous.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I know. I'm critical.
I mean, you can pick up on some allegories in this.
Hmm.
So I will give it a point just because
Okay.
I can. And
Oh,
because, and
oh,
because
but cinematography gets half a point, but okay, all
it
right.
does, it does. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um,
So, carry on.
yeah, I'll give it a point, anyways. Yeah, I think I'll keep the point there. I'm still contemplating. Should I give it a point? Yeah, I'll give it a point.
All right, it's one and done.
One and done. All right. What do we give it?
So, based off of everything that we've said and counting up the points and tallying up, it gets a whopping 9 points.
9 points out of 10. That's great.
Not
Hey,
too bad. So,
not too
that
bad. Not too bad.
that would kind of, where is it? Where did she go? Kaylee was then asked, would we recommend seeing this movie?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. Um, there's some parts I didn't like, but there's a lot of it is nice, especially if you are into watching movies or even making movies. This would be a good one to watch. Um, good one to learn from. That's for sure. I'd recommend it.
I would. Oh, Rogue. Good thing he wasn't here earlier. Man, he would have tore me a
Hey,
new one, I'm
Rogue,
pretty
how you
sure.
doing? we're
I
toward the end.
would, personally, I would recommend this movie. Um, I don't. Okay, hear me out. I don't think it deserves the hype that it got, but I do believe it has its place in cinema movie magic. Um, I did think that this movie was better than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I don't jump on hype trains. The only reason I saw this movie was because Dan wanted to review
I
it, and I
wanted
was
to
like,
do it.
I'm
Yep.
happy to wait a couple of months before it comes out and just watch it from home. But I will say, because of the music, I was thrilled to have seen this film in the theaters. And exactly, Rogue. I know you're gonna have to scold me. Look, listen, I'm giving it, the music. You need to hear what I had to say about the music. I will tell you, I think this movie was better than I thought it was. Yes, I had some issues with the pacing. Yes, there were some moments where they kind of made Batman look like a dingbat with that riddle issue there. Come on, let's be real. A 5-year-old could figure that out. But I think the actors were phenomenal.
I don't
I
know,
think
sketchy guy. Look at this.
Pinhead. And it will never be one of my favorite movies, but it was a really well-made movie that was definitely worth seeing. I will also put this out here, just something to throw out there, depending on how you feel about certain things. I know myself personally, I can be very sensitive to torture and dismemberment and violence and things like that. So, that being said, for those maybe who haven't seen it, would be interested in seeing it, depending on how sensitive you are, there are some scenes that go quite dark, but they leave it to the imagination, which can make it even darker than if they would just put something on the screen. So, I
Right.
mean, like, there are scenes like that one scene in the beginning with the guy that first dies and they have duct tape all over his face. Personally, that bothers me. I don't like things that go on the face. There's just something about it that really creeps me out. But that really did build the edge factor for this. And so, and then there's a scene with the other guy in the car and they
I would
blur
agree
it
with.
just.
I was just gonna interrupt you for a second. I said I would probably agree with Rogue. It's a movie that's not gonna age well.
No, because they threw in some of that social justice crap in there,
Yeah.
and so you can
Yeah.
tell what age it's going to be. It's not going to be a timeless classic, but still a good movie.
Right.
But that one scene where the guy was in the car and then the Riddler's behind him, and you can hear that he puts the duct tape on him, but then it goes out, and all of a sudden you hear like metallic sounds, and you just don't know what's going on, and the guy is like moaning and all this kind of stuff, and like trying to scream. I wasn't sure what was going on, and that left me a little unsettled. It's not as bad as you think, but again, that is good storytelling to let somebody's imagination work for you instead of having to do it for them. But I'm just saying, if you're sensitive to some of the darker aspects, just be cautious. And the other thing is too, if you have a sensitivity to swearing, depending on what kind, there are 2 F words in this movie, and I really, and not just from a religious standpoint, I wasn't
There's a
too
GD
thrilled.
in there.
Well, I wasn't too thrilled about how many times they say Jesus and goddamn, because of the fact that this is not the real world. And so to constantly mention deities that most likely don't belong in this world seems kind of, for me, it's problematic because it doesn't seem realistic, right? If you use the S word,
Well,
word and
they
the
do
B
it in
word and stuff
vain.
like that. Well, I know, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of strange to me to constantly use these names when most likely
you know
God
what? You know
doesn't
what?
exist
That's,
in that world.
well, I mean, God probably does exist. There's some kind of God, right? But what gets me is
From
that
yeah.
why is it a lot of people use God's name in vain or Jesus' name in vain? You know what it really the point is of it, especially these people that say that they don't believe in God or they don't believe in Jesus. So then why do they use it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
Good
interesting
question,
that
right?
most swear words seem to stem from and bastardized used from the Bible. If you study
Yeah,
the English
right.
language,
So I think
But-
it's because they don't want God to exist. So that's why they do things like that.
right. I just meant as far as I think I think Jesus' name was overly used in this movie,
Yeah,
like
unless they're
in
calling on it.
in a non-believable way, in my opinion. I understand that people take the Lord's name in vain and everything. I
Now,
just
when
thought
I
that this
say it,
was overly. I'm not talking about you,
When I
fam.
say it, it's because I'm calling on Jesus to help me. So if
That's why I
maybe these
said the
bad
Lord's
guys are
name
like,
in vain.
right, but maybe these bad guys are, saying Jesus so that he can help them, and Jesus isn't coming to help them because Batman doesn't care about what they say. I don't know, because they're the bad guys. I don't know.
I just want to let anybody know if they're sensitive to certain things and they would like to abstain from movies that have that kind of language and that kind of theme in it, then there you are. Make your own decisions.
Yeah, make your own
Overall,
decisions on that.
like I said, things in this movie I'm not necessarily thrilled about, thought was kind of silly or was not well paced. But overall, I would recommend this movie. I thought it was a lot better than I was anticipating it to be. And the music.
Right.
The music.
The music was good. The sound design was good, like Rogue is saying.
Yeah, he's the one always talking about the boots.
Yep, yep. I saw something. I was gonna put it up, but I forgot what it was. So I guess forget it. I can't find it. Um. Anyways, Mikey, how you doing? We're pretty much at the end of our show. Thanks for joining us. You're gonna have to watch the replay, because this is about Batman, and you'll love the beginning of this,
Not just
anyways.
Batman, the Batman.
The Batman. And I was also gonna mention something else, but I forgot what I was gonna say. So
It's probably about your muscle car again.
darn. No, it was about something in the movie. It was something in the movie that I didn't particularly like, I think. But I don't remember what it was. So what I was gonna say. That's what I don't remember what I was doing.
Take your
But
time.
yeah, no, I don't want to take my time because we're almost done. I don't want people to sit here and look at me going like this, quiet for about 5 minutes and go,
Oh,
"Oh, that's what it was."
I
Um,
mean,
if I remember it, maybe I'll put it in the comment section below. If I don't remember it, then forget it. But there you go. So, guys, thanks for watching. This is what we gave Batman, the Batman. Um, oh no, that's what it was gonna be. Look, somebody asked if we like the Nolan's Batman Begins better
no.
than this movie.
Although I did, I mean, I
I liked
really
it. You
like,
can't really
Heath Ledger
compare.
as
I
Jack
don't think.
as Joker, but I
Yeah,
they're okay. They're good movies too. They're just
yeah,
not my preference when it comes to Batman.
right, right. And like you said, they're good movies. It's just they're different movies. That's all. You know,
Yeah.
and it depends on everybody's preferences and how they like their movies. Really.
Hmm.
Um. So there you go. That's about it.
Thank you, Kaylee. We're glad that you're here. We hope you had a good time and
Yes.
laughed along with
Thanks for
us.
yes. Thanks for laughing with us. I'm surprised I didn't pee my pants. But
You did spit out your water.
I did spit out my water. That's a little bit better than peeing the pants. But there you go. So, anyways, everybody, don't forget we have some cool merchandise or gifts uh, for everybody. Go to our website www.insidethebooth.tv.com /shop. Get yourself. We got mugs. We got the big mugs. We got smaller mugs about this size. Makes your hands look bigger than the mug. Um, and we also got we got hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, pillows, tapestries if that's your thing. Um, we got also I am the law stickers. We got wing hugs for those of you who don't know what wing hugs are. You haven't been following us that long then, but that's okay. You can always go back and watch some old stuff and realize where wing hugs come from. Our good buddies, Ray Rom and Avery Cruz. They are great people,
He's right. Wing.
and that's where it started from. Um, so yeah, there you go.
Mikey, we stream every Tuesday and Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every
That's right.
Sunday and Tuesday.
Every Sunday and Tuesday. That's right. So we have a time scheduled, so that you'll always know we'll always be on every Sunday and Tuesday. It's kind of like when you used to watch TV uh, when you were a kid and you had to flip the channel. Every time at this day, boom, that show is on. So there we go.
Is Avery still banned? We saw
No,
him a
no, he's
while
not.
ago. I think he's just busy.
Yeah. You remember that, huh, Josh? Yeah, that stream was fun though.
Never forget.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
never
never
forget.
forget what I did on accident too. Man, no one lets it down either.
Never give up. Never surrender.
That's right. We'll never give up or never surrender. Um. So yeah,
Be
inside the
sure to
booth.
join us. Oh, sorry. Be sure to join us on Sunday because we have a very special guest for our
Mm,
interview. Somebody who
that's right.
works in the movie industry.
That's right, and does animation. So
Hmm.
come and check that one out. So yeah, so that's basically it. So thanks everybody for coming. Goodbye. Have fun. Thank you. And what else? That's it, right? Obviously, don't forget.
You gotta tell them Silent Breed is people!
I love
Just
it.
never forget that. All right.
Charlton Heston.
That's right. Never forget that. Um, yeah. So have a good night, you all, and I will show one more thing.
No, no.
Yes, but goodbye.